Hey, hey, hey. Aaron Mack, BS detector in the building. So we're just going to keep on reading until we get this book done. And we are very close, my friends. We are very close. Let's see. We are on page 56, and there's literally only like 92 pages, one of which has a map. Or actually, I'm sorry. One, two. It's 2 pages, but it's front and back. So it has like maps of the Jayish national home, so completely made up BS, bro. And I was telling my significant other that like eventually when I get, I've already been through the whole spiel of like me quitting my last bar job because it was like unbearable. So I didn't work for a month, and then bills were piling up and blah, blah, blah. So I've gone back to work now, and I'm getting to the point where I'm getting things paid down, and I'm going to set up a little mini studio. I don't know where I'm going to do it because there's literally like no room in this house. I mean, we are like packed in here like some sardines, but 'tis the state of the economy, I guess. I mean, unless you're like a million cajillionaire. I mean, I'm poor and I make over $1,000 a week at my bar job working 3 nights a week. Like, but whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm happy to be back at my bar. It's one of the ones that I worked out, a long, long time ago. And it's kind of been like a homecoming. And I feel very blessed and very happy to be there. So, and also regarding, Christianity and the doctrines and stuff that they teach, we're going to be looking into all of that because, I was raised Christian. I went to excuse me, let me turn this light a little bit. I was raised in a Christian school, and I just believed stuff because that's what I was told. That's just no longer an acceptable way to live, okay? And I'm not some like Rhodes Scholar or anything, but we are going to get down to the bottom of a lot of things, and we are going to find the BS. That's what I'm here for, friends. Anyways, so we're going to pick up where we left off, and that is page 56. And so the heading is called Our Jayish Pilgrim Fathers. Okay? And this was written by Louis D. Brandeis, who I want to say was mentioned in the last book, Facts Are Facts. He had a lot to do, I think, with like World War One, maybe World War Two. I don't remember which world war it was, but he had a lot to do with it. So here we are. Anyways, so let us bear clearly in mind that Shmayanism is, or rather, what it is not. It is not a movement to remove all the Jays of the world compulsorily to Schmalestein. In the first place, there are 14 million Jays. Eek. And Schmalestein would not accommodate more than 1/3 of that number. In the second place, it is not a movement to compel anyone to go to Schmalestein. It is essentially a movement to give the Jay more, not less freedom. It aims to enable the Jays to exercise the same right now exercised by practically every other people in the world. To live at their option, either in the land of their fathers or in some other country. It's not the fucking land of their fathers, bro. Like, let's be so for real. Okay. To live at their option, either, and okay, I can't even read that again. It's like so inflammatory to me. Okay. A right which members of small nations as well as of large, which Irish, Greek, Bulgarian, Serbian, or Belgian may now exercise as fully as Germans or English. I don't know if you guys are following Signal Before Silence. She is of Armenian descent, and she goes into how the Armenians are like completely left out. Like even this movie that what's his name? Spielberg, okay. A J, probably a Zionist J, did. I can't remember. It was like about the Crusades, and like the king, I think in one of the part, like I can't remember which king it was, but he was half Armenian. And like in the movie, they didn't bring up Armenians. They didn't bring up any freaking thing. So I think it's good. I want to like start looking into the Armenians and Byzantium and stuff, because there's some really interesting stuff going on with that civilization, if you will. Anyways, we're going to keep on reading. Shmayanism seeks to establish in Schmalestein for Jays as choose for such Jays as choose to go and remain there for their descendants a legally secured home where they may live together and lead a Jayish life. No one was stopping. Well, I mean, some people were stopping them from subverting the culture, from you know, usury. You know, a lot of countries did not like that, which it's not cool. Like usury is not cool, and it's actually forbidden in their Torah. But now they've changed it to, because they've written a whole new Torah that is like Talmud basically, and they can usury the shit out of everybody. Anyways. Okay. Shmayanism seeks to establish in Palestine for such Jays as choose to go and remain there, and for their descendants a legally secured home where they may live together and lead a Jayish life, where they may not expect ultimately to constitute a majority of the population and may look forward to what we should call home rule. The Shmayanists seek to establish this home in Schmalestein because they are convinced that the undying longing of the Jays for Schmalestein is a fact of deepest significance. That it is a manifestation in the struggle for the existence by an ancient people which had established its right to live, a people whose 3,000 years of civilization has produced a faith, culture, and individuality which enable them to contribute largely in the future, as they had in the past, to the advance of civilization, and that it is not a right merely, but a duty of the Jayish nationality to survive and develop. And you know, I'm starting to like, I mean, I've been watching like Myth Vision, dude, he was like a fundy Christian, a fundamentalist Christian, just like I was raised. And you know, he through a lot of like studying scholarship and stuff, and not just reading the Bible and trying to interpret it for himself, which the likes of Kay Podgy do. Okay. And I have to give Aaron Abkey some props, because I was watching a video that he did last night, and I can't remember who their guest was that they had on, but like I've been freaking telling them, like, all this slippery slope of Torah observance is literally leading to Noahide laws. And why Christians are in Kay Podgy's comments section lifting up the name of Yahweh and not Jesus is insane to me. What the are y'all doing? Stop it. Anyways, let me keep reading. Okay. They believe that there only can be Jayish life. They believe that there only, can Jayish life be fully protected from the forces of disintegration. There alone can the Jayish spirit reach its full and natural development. And that by securing for those Jays who wish to settle in Schmalestein the opportunity to do so, not only those Jays, but all other Jays will be benefited, and that the long perplexing Jayish problem will at last find a solution. Because there was a book literally called The Jayish Problem and How to Solve It, and it was written in 1915. So clearly these people have been a problem for a long, long time. Anyways, what I was saying about dude from Myth Vision, like he has challenged his beliefs completely, and now it's starting to look like maybe the whole thing is made up. Like maybe the Old Testament's completely made up, and maybe so is the New Testament. Who knows? I'm not gonna like go so far. I mean, even if Jesus is just in concept, like, I don't know. Who knows? Because even people like Josephus are the ones that wrote about Jesus existing, right? And other J's. So I don't know. How far back does that Cole Nider prayer go? How long have they been practicing that? Anyways, I do believe that there is an all-loving source of love, like a creator. It's not Yahweh. And, that faith is like the ultimate line, not like good works or anything like that, because obviously all of us fall short of being perfect. No one is. And like when Jesus came, he was literally the only one that did everything perfectly. And there are some people out here that like say that he didn't. And I think that's kind of crazy. But anyways, we're just going to read and learn together. Okay. We are going to challenge our beliefs together and see where we come out. All right. So they believe that to accomplish this, it is not necessary that the Jewish population of Schmalestein be large as compared with the whole number of Jays in the world, for throughout centuries, when the Jewish influence was greatest, during the Persian, the Greek, and the Roman empires, only a relatively small part of the Jays lived in Schmalestein, and only a small part of the Jays returned from Babylon when the temple was rebuilt. Returned my dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like, bro, they never... they don't even go there. They're like not from there. Which is what is wild to me, is like half the dang history is made up, or more than half. So like, what are we even talking about right now? Okay. Since the destruction of the temple nearly 2,000 years ago, and I don't even think it was 2,000 years ago. I think there was a reset much more recently than that. But for those that don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, I'm just going to keep on reading. Okay, since the destruction of the temple nearly 2,000 years ago, the longing for Schmalestein has been ever present with the J. It was the hope of a return in the land of his fathers that buoyed up the J amidst persecution, and for the realization of which the devout ever prayed. Until a generation ago, this was a hope merely a wish piously prayed for, but not worked for. The Zionist movement is idealistic, but it is also essentially practical. It seeks to realize that hope, to make the dream of a Jewish life in a Jewish land come true, as other great dreams of the world would have been realized by men working with devotion, intelligence, and self-sacrifice. It was thus that the dream of Italian independence and unity, after centuries of vain hope, came through the efforts of Mazzini, Garibaldi, and Cavour, that the dream of Greek and of Bulgarian and of Serbian independence became facts, that the dream of home rule in Ireland had just been realized. The rebirth of the Jewish nation is no longer a mere dream. It is in process of accomplishment in a most practical way, and the story is a wonderful one. A generation ago, a few Jewish immigrants from Russia and from Romania, not Romania, R-O-U, Romania, instead of proceeding westward to this hospitable country where they might easily have secured material prosperity, yeah, because that's where they're fucking from, turned eastward for the purpose of settling in the land of their fathers. The land of your fathers is like Romania, Caucasus area, like, and we're going to prove that with the reading of our next book. I'm going to definitely be reading The 13th Tribe. And then there's another book that one of my Facebook friends put me on to, that he said I've simply got to read it, and it has to do with the Jays also. It's another somebody exposing their lies. So we're just going to keep on keeping on. All right. The rebirth of the Jewish nation is no longer a mere dream. It is okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The land of their fathers. That's what set me off, because it's such BS. To the worldly wise, these efforts at colonization appeared very foolish. Nature and man presented obstacles in Schmalestein which appeared almost insuperable, and the colonists were in fact ill-equipped for their task, save in their spirit of devotion and self-sacrifice. The land, harassed by centuries of misrule, was treeless and apparently sterile, and it was infested with malaria. The government offered them no security either as to life or property. The colonists themselves were not only unfamiliar with the character of the country, but were ignorant of the farmer's life which they proposed to lead, for the Jays of Russia and Romania had been generally denied the opportunity of owning or working land. Furthermore, and it's because they fucking know what happens when y'all do. But let me stop. Let me just keep reading. Okay. Furthermore, these colonists were not inured to the physical hardships to which the life of a pioneer is necessarily subjected. To these hardships and malaria, many succumbed. Those who survived were long confronted with failure, but at last success came. Within a generation, these Jayish pilgrim fathers and those who followed them have succeeded in establishing these two fundamental propositions. First, that Palestine is fit for the modern Jay, and second, that the modern Jay is fit for Palestine. Over 40 self-governing Jayish colonies attested to this remarkable achievement. Of course they did, because all of these people, I was just watching something last night about the Rothschilds and about how literally their family tree has like no branches. Like it's literally like a big circle and goes inward because they keep it in the family. And I think that's a practice of like a lot of these people, which the Rothschilds are like crypto, if not like regular Jays. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the land, treeless a generation ago, supposed to be sterile and hopelessly arid, had been shown to have been treeless and sterile only because of man's misrule. It had been shown to be capable of becoming again a land, quote, flowing with milk and honey, end quote. Oranges and grapes, olives and almonds, wheat and other cereals are now growing there in profusion. And so is lab-printed meat. This material development has been attended by a spiritual and social development no less extraordinary, a development in education, in health, and in social order, and in the character and habits of the population. Perhaps the most extraordinary achievement of the Jayish nationalism is the revival of the Hebrew language. Okay, I've talked about this so many times, okay? There is no revival. It's a complete manufacturing, all right? There was no ancient, like they say, Paleo Hebrew. It's a Proto-Canaanite language, okay? And I don't think you can even find, and I'm going to start digging on this one, okay? We're going to be doing some deep dives, but I have to get some kind of editing software where I can like share a screen with you guys, at least from my laptop. I have a Mac laptop. I need to get an external hard drive so that I can like hold all this stuff. And I used to have one back when I was in television production school 20 years ago, but a lot of things have changed, and I know people are still using Final Cut Pro, but I don't know how user-friendly that is. I'm not trying to be like all high-tech with this, but I would like to be able to share my screen so we can do read-alongs together. And also, I would like to be able to share like random videos and other tidbits to like pull my whole point together. Because right now, I'm just sitting on this stoop, talking into this cheap ass microphone that I got from Amazon for like $25, which sounds absolutely terrible. I know it does, and I'm so very sorry. Eventually I will be upgrading to a more a prettier background, a more cohesive video style, and you know, but the ones that are here from like the beginning, the triple OGs, you guys, we're going to like go on a cruise together or something. I'm just kidding. But like legit, the ones that are here and that are watching the videos, all two of you, thank you so much, because I wanted to start this channel probably 10 years ago, but I had absolutely no clue as to what to do. I knew that like the truth mattered to me and that I wanted to get to the bottom of stuff. But, I almost started getting sucked into this Hebrew roots crap. And it's literally all over, you guys. Excuse me. Had to hit my vape. Don't judge me. Okay. Where were we in this? Because I got to stop yapping because I'm running out of time and room in this phone. Okay. Okay. This material development has been attended by a spiritual and social development no less extraordinary, a development in education, in health, and in social order, and in the character and habits of the population. Perhaps the most extraordinary achievement, is the revival of the fake-ass sigil magic Hebrew language. Who made it up is Eleazar Yitzhak Perlman, who he changed it to like Eleazar ben Yehuda. All right, and that's Googleable. Which has again become a language of the common intercourse of men. And they admit it, like most of these Jays, they spoke Yiddish, okay? And now this Hebrew language is like a mishmash of Yiddish, some German, a couple of other Eastern European languages they borrowed from the Aramaic alphabet. Like none of this stuff, they say the revival of the Hebrew language, that's a lie. It is the construction of a whole new language with which they have tried to subvert Christian beliefs, and that through Jesus alone, faith alone, and now they're back beating people over the head and trying to go back and say in the Hebrew, Jesus, Yeshua means from branch of Yahuwah or some such BS. Okay, no. First of all, his name is not Yeshua. Yeshua is Metatron. Okay, and there's a book that I have here called The Return of the Kosher Pig. It might be over on that side of the room, but it exposes it. And if you don't want to go into all that, go get Deanne Loper's book where she exposes Kabbalah. That's why Hebrew language was invented. It wasn't just for, so we could all have a common tongue, because they already did. They already spoke Yiddish, and they still do. But this whole Jewish language, I mean, they act like, oh, it's alphanumeric. It's got to be a language from God. No, it is sigil magic, okay? And everyone is under a spell, and you need to snap out of it. Anyways. Okay. The Hebrew tongue, called a dead language for nearly 2,000 years, has, in the Jewish colonies and in Jerusalem, become again the living mother tongue. Jesus didn't even speak it, okay? He spoke Aramaic and Greek. But people just make these assumptions like, oh, well, they're Jays. They must be the same people from the Old Testament. No, they're not the same people. They've made up a completely different language. They have put their own spin on it. They have been like, okay, you know how people say, like, somebody is busy, but the devil is busier? The devil has been very busy, okay? And these people are the devil's children. Anyways, the effect, and all you got to do is look at the fruit, okay? K-Podgy is out here trying to tell you that you need to go back under the law. No, you need to live according to the spirit, not the flesh, okay? What does that look like? That looks like loving people, telling the truth, which I have a little theory as to where Miss Podgy came from and whom is funding her endeavors. Nevertheless, this whole trying to get people to go back under the law, no, because Noahide laws are coming, and they want you to believe and worship their God, which is Yahweh, which people are already doing. They're already dropping Jesus like hotcakes. And no, we're not doing that over here. Not on this channel. We're not dropping Jesus like hotcakes. Okay, we're not doing that. Anyways. Yeah, like it says, the Hebrew tongue called a dead language for nearly 2,000 years. It was a dead language when Jesus was here, bro. Okay, anyways, let me stop. Okay. The effect of this common language in unifying the J is, of course, great, for the Jays of Palestine came literally from all the lands of the earth, each speaking except for the use of Yiddish, which is part of this modern Hebrew language, the language of the country from which he came, and remaining in the main almost a stranger to the others. But the effect of the renaissance of the Hebrew tongue is far greater than that of unifying the Jays. It is a potent factor in reviving the essentially Jayish spirit, and it's also been a very potent factor in brainwashing millions of Christians. Our Jayish pilgrim fathers have laid the foundation. It remains for us to build the superstructure, which they're going to try to like dominate the whole world. They think that us goy are here to serve them on this earth. Never. Okay. Let no American imagine that Shemayanism is inconsistent with patriotism. Multiple loyalties are objectionable only if they are inconsistent. A man cannot serve two masters, for he will love the one and hate the other, or despise the one and love the other. Didn't Jesus say that? And they've all got dual citizenship. Like, that is a conflict of interest, and that should be stripped of them immediately. If you want to be a citizen of Yasharel, go right ahead. But you should be stripped of your American passport. Okay. A man is a better citizen of the United States for being a loyal citizen of his state. How you figure? And of his city, for being loyal to his family and to his profession or trade, for being loyal to his college or his lodge. Every Irish American who contributed towards the advancing home rule was a better man and a better American for the sacrifice he made. Every American Jay who aids in advancing the Jayish settlement in Schmalestein, though he feels that neither he nor his descendants will ever live there, will likewise be a better man and a better American for doing so. BS. Note that Seton Watson says, quote, America is full of nationalities which, while accepting with enthusiasm their new American citizenship, nevertheless look to some center in the old world as the source and inspiration of their national culture and traditions. The most typical instance is the feeling of the American Jay for Schmalestein, which may well become a focus for his day-class kinsmen in other parts of the world, end quote. There is no inconsistency between loyalty to America and loyalty to Jewry. Bull fucking shit, bro. My BS detector light should be going right now, okay? Definitely should. Because to the detriment of America, have we allowed these people to carry such influence over our politics, our entertainment, and our money. They have all but sucked us dry. The Jayish spirit, the product of our religion and experiences, is essentially modern and essentially American. See, they just admitted it right there. It's essentially modern. Yeah, it's not ancient. You guys are making shit up as you go along. Not since the destruction of the temple have the Jays in spirit and in ideals been so fully in harmony with the noblest aspirations of the country in which they lived. I feel like they had a lot to do in establishing this country, because I'm pretty sure George Washington, he was definitely a Freemason, which I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was the Jays that invented Freemasonry. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's how they've been able to, throughout the centuries, topple regimes. That's how they've been, that's why they've been kicked out of so many countries and kingdoms, because they subvert every effing place that they ever go to. It's not because people are jealous, because they're God's chosen, because, I'm sorry, they're not. All right. So yes, there is an inconsistency between their loyalty to America and to Yasharel, but whatever. We shall keep on going. America's fundamental law seeks to make real the brotherhood of man. That brotherhood became the Jayish fundamental law more than 2,500 years ago. America's insistent demand in the 20th century is for social justice. That also has been the Jays' striving for ages. Their affliction, as well as their religion, has prepared the Jays for effective democracy. Persecution broadened their sympathies. It trained them in patient endurance, in self-control, and in sacrifice. It made them think as well as suffer. It deepened the passion for righteousness. Indeed, loyalty to America demands rather that each American Jay become a Zionist. No, please don't. Like regular, non-Shmayanist Jays, love them. They're freaking awesome. But even non-Jayish, like Christian Zionists, I cannot stand these people. They are so ignorant, misinformed, brainwashed, and they're dangerous to regular people who don't believe in any of this stuff, because trust, when it all comes down to it, they will be the ones saying, off with our heads, off with our heads. All right? It's not going to be those of us who live according to the spirit and not the flesh. It's going to be those that are brainwashed into this Christian Zionism and or this Torah observant BS. All right? Put your discernment on. And if you don't have the Spirit, ask Jesus for the Father to send the Holy Spirit to you, and He will. He has been with me my whole entire life, and I've been able to discern BS after BS after BS. And trust me, it's made my life way harder, okay? My life has not been easy because there were whole piles of shit, okay, that I was not going to step in, or I could have made a ton of money if I would have just went along with it. Well, no, I'm not doing that. I would literally rather live in a ditch or under a bridge than go along with somebody else's fucking BS. Excuse my language. I mean, that's just who I am. Like, I'm not, and maybe I'm a little too stubborn, but whatever. Okay. Okay. Indeed, the loyalty to America demands rather that each American Jay become a Zionist. For only through the ennobling effect of its strivings can we develop the best that is in us and give to this country the full benefit of our great inheritance. The Jayish spirit, so long preserved, the character developed by so many centuries of sacrifice, should be preserved and developed further, so that in America, as elsewhere, the sons of the race may in future live lives and do deeds worthy of their ancestors. Okay, this is from Yasharel's proclamation of independence. The state of Yasharel will be open to Jayish immigration and the ingathering of exiles. It will devote itself to developing the land, and it capitalized the word land, for the good of all its inhabitants. It will rest upon foundations of liberty, justice, and peace as envisioned by the prophets of Yasharel. It will maintain complete equality of social and political rights for all its citizens. Lies, without distinction of creed, race, or sex. Bullshit. It will guarantee freedom of religion and conscience, of language, education, and culture. Not true. It will safeguard the holy places of all religions. Is that what they're doing now by bombing the shit out of everything? It will be loyal to the principles of the United Nations Charter. Bro, like, I swear to God, I feel like half the dang country, like, half the people in the UN are coming after them now because Satan Yahoo has gone off the rails. He's gone off the rails. And he's literally, like, unaliving everyone. They, like, bombed a church a couple of months ago. And they spit on Christians, okay? They do. Go follow Adam Green from No More News on Rumble. Like, I'm giving y'all a wealth of knowledge here where I'm shouting out a lot of these content creators. Adam got kicked off of YouTube probably 10, 11 years ago for anti-Shemitism because he was literally, all he was doing, he wasn't saying anything. All he was doing was playing videos of what the rabbis were saying about America and the rest of the world, who they say is Amalek, who must be utterly destroyed. And Amalek is just a general term that they use, like, interchangeably for anyone that doesn't believe what they believe. Anybody that they want to conquer and or destroy. Okay. All right. Even amidst the violent attacks launched against us for months past, we call upon the sons of the Arab people dwelling in Yasharel to keep the peace and to play their part in building the state on the basis of full and equal citizenship and due representation in all its institutions, provisional and permanent. We extend the hand of peace and good neighborliness to all the states around us and to their peoples, and we call upon them to cooperate in mutual helpfulness with the independent Jewish nation in its land. The state of Yisrael is prepared to make its contribution in a concerted effort for the advancement of the entire Middle East. And that was penned Tel Aviv, May 1948. Okay, we've got about 10 more minutes until I stop this video. Let's try to... Okay, I'm probably going to end up having to stop and start another video, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, friends. Okay, this is Israel in search of peace. I guess it's opposite day, every day with them, because whenever they say peace, they mean the opposite. I mean, if we haven't figured this out by now, we need to stop being so charitable to these people, because they are not being charitable to us in any shape, form, or fashion. They want the destruction of the whole entire world. They want to tear it all down and then build it back up to where we are all pod people eating the bugs and worshiping them and their God, Yahweh. All right? This is Yisrael in Search of Peace by Golden Meyer. 25 years ago, the Jewish state proclaimed its independence in a part of Palestine. 6 months later, the General Assembly of the United Nations had recommended its establishment. This act of historic justice strove to fulfill the earlier pledge of the Balfour Declaration and the League of Nations mandate, which gave recognition not only to an immediate Jewish need, but also to the principle of a Jewish right to national self-expression. Zionism, as an aspiration, is as old as the exile. As a political movement, it goes back 100 years. The vision of a Jewish return to the original homeland is far older than the solemn international commitments of 25 and 55 years ago. An independent Jewish state arose as the culmination of a long process of national liberation, which eventually won formal sanction through the moral sense of the community of nations. In the 25th year of independence, Yisrael has ample cause for satisfaction. She has developed from a community of 600,000 at the close of the British Mandate into a technologically advanced democratic state of 3 million. She has fulfilled her mission of homeland and refuge by absorbing over 1 million Jays from every sector of the globe, including 500,000 refugees from Arab lands, as well as hundreds of thousands survivors of the Schmatzi Holocaust. And while engaged in her enormous constructive task, she has managed, though vastly outnumbered, to repel concerted assaults by the Arab states on her very life. She has translated a remote dream into solid reality. And all this, Yisrael has brought to fruition the labor of Jewish pioneers who, since the turn of the century, gave their lives to transform a barren and denuded land into fertile fields, flourishing settlements, and new patterns of society. In surveying the burgeoning towns of modern Yisrael, it is easy to forget that the land to which the young settlers came was rich only in historic memories and religious associations. It had neither oil nor abundant natural resources. Its wastes offered no temptation except to Zionist pioneers animated by the twin ideals of a new Jewish society in reconstructed land. The renewal of Jewish national independence after centuries of dispersion and persecution is one of the great ethical affirmations of our time. An age-old inequity was at last redressed, not at the expense of another people, but with full regard for the rights of others, for we were not alone in securing independence. In a parallel development, many Arab states were established in the same period and in the same region, but in a far more generous expanse. In the huge area liberated by the Allies from Turkish domination, we had been accorded a, quote, small notch, end quote, which we sought to develop in peace and cooperation with our neighbors. The failure of that hope has been costly to both Arab and Jay, and I shall not pretend that the persistent conflict with the Arabs does not weigh heavily upon us. Decades of struggle have brought much bloodshed to both. Nothing can be more horrifying than parents burying their children, and I know of families who have lost 3 generations of their sons in this tragic conflict. Yeah, 3 generations of American people dying for these atheists. They don't even... That's the whole thing, is y'all have to realize, like, these people are secular. They don't fucking have a religion. Their religion is white supremacy. And they act like, regular, degular Western European people that came and settled in the Americas are the true white supremacists. No, hell, they're not. It's the Jays, bro. They are white people. They just are. Get the net. Sorry, I'm quoting 90s movies now. I'm sounding ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to keep reading, and then I'm going to get down to this little part 2, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to upload, and then I will read the second part. Okay. Okay, we would be happier if we could use all our energy in the more rewarding task of reclaiming the deserts and bare hills which still constitute so much of Israel. In Israel, as elsewhere, there are problems of economic deprivation and social maladjustment whose solution would be hastened by peace. But peace still remains elusive. Though the Arab peoples suffer grave ills of poverty and disease, their governments concentrate mainly on the sterile goal of destroying Israel's independence. This fixation torments the Middle East and obstructs its creative destiny. I call BS on that too. Which this is just making me, like, I've always loved history, and this is just making me want to delve into, like, the real actual history of all of this. And, going to college to learn history is probably like the dumbest thing you can do, because they're not teaching actual history. They're teaching a history agreed upon, you know what I mean, written by the winners. So no, I don't think anybody's going to get the truth by going to university. And I actually did that. Okay, like 10 years ago, I think I was in my, like, early to mid 30s, so it may have been more than 10 years ago. But yeah, dude, and I immediately realized, like, they're trying to straight up brainwash me here. And this was when, like, the whole gender studies was becoming a thing, and it was like, we had to do a debate in my gender studies class of whether you can actually change your sex. And to me, I was like, what a ridiculous question. Like, of course not. No, you cannot. Down to a cellular level, like, you are either male or female. But, and everybody literally in the class looked at me and thought I was like some bigot or something. And I'm like, when did scientific facts become bigoted whatever? And it's through this place, Tavistock, and their think tanks and their money that has been pushed through to white Western countries to subvert and destroy these countries that love freedom, that, want equality for everyone, not equity, because equity is equal outcomes. Equality is like, you start from the same place, you've got equal opportunity. Nobody's guaranteed a freaking equal outcome. That's communism. And how many millions of people have died under communism? A lot. Anyways, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to upload this, and then I'm going to probably take the dog out and then come back in, and we're going to try to finish this. Hopefully we'll try to finish it today. I'm going to try to just do less commentary and more reading so that we can make on to the next book. And then I'm trying to decide whether I want to actually, I think I want to do the 13th tribe next, just because it's gonna prove that these Jays are not who they claim to be. Anyways, Aaron Mack, BS Detector, out.